Eventually.
Yeah, step into the cage, let's go. It's the Maniacs, you ready for the show? Can't catch alone and Joe be in the place. Bringing heat to the mic, we're winning this race. Yeah, from the octagon fire to the studio mics. Tune in weekly, we're dropping the spikes. Analyzing every punch, every kick that lands. Maniacs in the game, playing with fans' demands. Ken's got the insight, Joe's got the flair. Mapping out the fights, we'll take you anywhere. So grab your popcorn, buckle up tight.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
What's up, guys? Back again, MMAniacs Podcast. Joined as always by Bare Knuckle Ken, although today he's the bearded Packer fan, Ken.
I'm fucking getting there.
So yeah, dude. You know, big things happening in the UFC right now. Big things happening all over. Actually, I got my promotion coming up. It hasn't been announced yet, but I know it's going to be next month. So I'm looking forward to that.
Are you getting just the one stripe added or two stripes?
I don't know. I haven't been told, and I don't want to get my hopes up. It's like, because then if I just get my second stripe, I'm going to be disappointed. Like, which I shouldn't be disappointed, right? It's another step closer. But I've been training for a year and a half, so like, I would love to get that third stripe, because then that would mean next promotion I'm probably getting my blue belt next year. But if I only get my second stripe, it's like there's no blue belt on the horizon, dude. Like, so I don't know. But either way, like I just I'm gonna get promoted, and I won't be a one stripe anymore. I'm cool. I'm happy with that. That's the attitude I'm trying to take about it. Is like, it's another step closer, and I trust my professor. Like, when he promotes me, it's like wherever he says I am, I'm, according to him, that's where I am, and I trust his judgment. I mean, he's trained, world champion MMA fighters, world champion jiu-jitsu guys. Like, I don't know if you guys watching the show, like I've mentioned my professor quite a bit, but I don't know if I've ever like put his name out there. But I study under Marino Vicentini. Like, his nickname is Marino, and he's one of only 100 people on the planet that got their black belt from Carlson Gracie Sr. He's a 6th degree black belt. He's actually 2 years in already on his 6th degree, so he's gonna belt his next promotion, which is that 7th degree. Is like, there's not very many people in the world that have a 7th degree. Like, this guy's been training jiu-jitsu, or I should say this guy's been teaching jiu-jitsu for like almost 30 years, like he's been doing jiu-jitsu for well over 40 years. So he's got a lifetime in the game, dude. And he's just an absolute monster. Not physically, like physical prowess or physical stature wise. He's a very unassuming, like, I mean, you can tell he's in shape, but he's not like 6'2", 250, you know what I mean? He's like 5'10", 170 maybe, 180 pounds. But that dude will fucking kill you, man. Like, he with his bare hands, like, easily, and so it's awesome training under him. He's just got a wealth of knowledge about jiu-jitsu and about fighting in general. I mean, he's obviously a jiu-jitsu professor, but like I said, he's trained world champion MMA fighters. So he understands he understands fighting. Like, he's made a life of martial arts and the art of it and the philosophy of it. So he's just it's awesome to have I like that teaching you. And so all that to say, if I get promoted, I'll know that that's where I'm at, and I'll know that, like, that's how much more I have to go. Because I really want that blue belt, man. I've been for it, and you know. So a lot of bruises, a lot of pain, you know, a lot of hours, a lot of sweat.
A lot of
But that's
elbows
what it
branded
takes.
into your face.
Yeah, I mean that's just part of the game, dude. A lot of knees in the nuts, knees in the
Oh,
mouth, knees in the face. Like, you know, shit happens, man.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu's a rough sport. Like, you know, some people don't respect it. You know, like this guy. I was telling this story about, you know, one of the guys I train with, and he was like, remember he brought that guy from his work because the dude was calling it like pajama wrestling. He's like, I don't do that karate shit you do. And my boy was like, it's not karate, bro. Like, why don't you come in for the trial class? So he came in for the trial class, and my buddy just strangled the shit out of him. And Antonio 21374. I don't know. So we had some fights over the weekend. Ian Machado Gary defeated Bilal Muhammad, and so it's looking like Machado Gary might actually title shot. Remember last week we were just talking about the welterweight rankings, and so now we got this big fight that just happened. It's going to push Bilal down the rankings a little bit and push Machado Gary up. Are you interested in that fight, Islam and Ian Machado Gary? How's it going, Bertel? Is it Bertiliazzo?
Yeah, and I'm interested in because I think Ian Machado Gary has a shot against Islam. I don't know how great of a shot it is, but it's a shot. But we did hear Prates come out and have some major opinions about this. Did you hear anything about that?
No, I didn't, but I'm all ears.
Oh, he came out and said that the pretty much the UFC fandom wants to have him in the next title fight and not Ian Machado Gary because he is at least exciting and finishes fights where Machado won by decision.
Yeah, it's a fair argument. But Machado Gary just beat the number two. I think number two, Bilal was number two contender. That talks. And so Bilal is a former champion. So I'm not upset if they give Machado Gary the next shot. I don't like his chances against Islam strictly because Machado Gary is a grappler. And you're playing right into Islam's wheelhouse. I don't think that Ian Machado is a grappler on the level of Islam. So I think he just gets strangled. And that's not to take away from Ian Machado Gary. He's a great fighter. Like, in fact, you and I have, you know, you've heard me praise his jiu-jitsu skills. Like, his jiu-jitsu is top notch, dude. It's Paddy Pimblett level. Like, it's he, you know.
See that's why I say he's got a shot. Now, granted, I know it's Islam we're talking about, and he's more of the submission wrestler type of thing. But with him having such skill in jiu-jitsu, I got to give him at least a shot in it.
Yeah, I don't. And this is coming from, you know, I mean, granted, I'm a one-stripe white belt. I'm nobody, right? But I've got 18 months in the game now. Like I don't know nothing, right? Like I don't know a lot, but I don't know nothing. And I just, for me, I see Islam is not just a wrestler. Like Islam has jiu-jitsu skills as well and sambo skills. Like, but the way that Islam blends his wrestling and his jiu-jitsu into overall grappling, I just think is going to overwhelm Machado. Like, he has a chance to make it interesting for a couple rounds. I mean, and if he could do something in the stand-up, that would be his real path to victory. If he could do something in the stand-up game, but on the ground, bro, you're entering the lion's den. You know, like I would ground with Islam. So. And that's as a jiu-jitsu guy. I'm like, nah, you better train that boxing, Machado Gary. Like, you better get in there and start dogs, man. Like, that's your shot. But it's interesting, like I wouldn't be upset, like I said, with Machado Gary getting the next shot. I wouldn't be upset with Pratis getting the next shot. Although to me, I think Ian Machado Gary's win over Bilal, even though it's by decision, is more, I don't want to say impressive than Pratis's win over Leon, because Pratis knocked the shit out of him.
Holds a little more weight.
Holds a little more weight because it's against a higher ranked opponent who actually beat Leon. I know MMA math doesn't really count, but Bilal took the title from Leon. Leon is on a downward slide. I said it before, like he has a choice right now. He can either, there's not really anyone in the top 10 that I'm picking him to beat. So he can stick around and be a gatekeeper for a while and take a few more losses, or he can go out now and have a pretty respectable career. Like he was the champ, and he didn't just win the title, like he defended it against Kamaru Usman, the guy. Like, we can't forget, before Usman lost the belt to Leon, Usman was on a run where people were actually starting to say, like, dude, he might actually surpass GSP as the greatest welterweight champion of all time, right? Like, he was on that, and then he lost. He needed maybe one or two more wins, and he was going to be like, people were going to start placing him over GSP all time at welterweight. And then he lost to Leon. And then, people were like, oh, it was kind of a fluky head kick. It happens. But he came back and Leon beat Kamaru. So I feel like if he hangs it up now, he's going to get that rub of, like, he stopped, the second greatest streak in welterweight history. Like, he'll go down, as a kind of a legend, like, if not quite a legend, at least somebody who's highly respected, possibly even get into the Hall of Fame later on. I don't think he's like a first ballot kind of guy, but I think definitely would have a shot, because his overall win is pretty good. He's beat quite a few top contenders. He had like a 12-fight winning streak, maybe even more. Because he had like a 10-fight winning streak just to get the title shot. And then he won the title, then he defended the title. So he had like 12, 13 consecutive wins. Like, he's got a Hall of Fame worthy resume. It's just, don't tarnish it by sticking around and losing to all these guys in the top 10, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you absolutely need the money. In which case, it's unfortunate. But a lot of fighters do, man. They either need the money or they just can't see that their best days are behind them. They love fighting so much. But yeah. So the welterweight rankings are interesting. What do you think about Pratis, what he said, like weighing it out? Which win in your mind is weighs heavier?
Okay. There is the key, and what I'm going to say is the weighs heavier, because Pratez's was, to me, a hell of a lot more exciting, and the type of win that could catapult somebody into a title shot a little early.
Mm-hmm.
But with it being Ian Machado Gary beating Bilal, who is a pretty damn respectable champion. Granted, a lot of people don't like his style with his whole wrestle fuck shit, but it's hard to argue against the effectiveness. So we know this guy is an absolute dominant wrestler, and for him to be able to win the decision, it's hard not to say that that doesn't hold a bit more weight, because you got to win over somebody that was a champion, and we're not talking too long ago. We're talking just right beforehand.
A year ago, he was champ.
Mm-hmm.
6 months ago, or maybe, it was a little more than 6 months. Like, close to a year ago, he was champ.
Yeah, that's why I didn't mention a timeline, because I couldn't remember exactly when it was.
Yeah, it was a little less than a year ago. He was champ, and he won the belt from Leon. So
Hey, what's up there, Mitch?
Yeah, what's going on, Mitch? We're not talking about Jared Goff here, buddy.
No, I was gonna say he's been on the MMA show.
I know. I'm just giving him shit.
No, but we will be talking about Jared Goff tomorrow. But for now, happy Thanksgiving, buddy.
Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah. So it's interesting, the welterweight landscape. I agree with you. I think Prodis's win was a lot more impressive, but I think Machado Gary's win is heavier. Like it weighs more in the scales because of the ranking of Bilal, and beating the number 2 versus beating the number 5 guy is always going to be better.
Yeah, I'm going to let you handle this one, Joe.
No, you go ahead and give your opinion first. Like my opinion isn't the only one that matters.
Oh, I know. But I was just going off of how our last one
No,
was.
I know. I'll flame him in a second, but first you give your take.
All right. Well, my take is, granted, I absolutely would have loved to see him keep fighting, but you also can't blame a guy for not wanting to fight, not being able to see. Because not only did he have the dude's finger shoved all up in his eye, but the other finger, you can see scrape across the eye a bit. And I think that's what really did him in. Now, granted, we've seen guys fight through it before, but like my partner here had said, they usually end up losing that fight. So why the hell are you going to sit there and go, well, I'm just going to tough it out so I can lose my belt anyway?
Solid take. I agree. And, and we'll put a WWE spin on it, right? It's like, you remember like the old days when you would have like Shawn Michaels was the Intercontinental champ, but he was a heel. And you'd have like Bret Hart, or you'd have somebody like whooping his ass. Like, they'd hit the back body drop, and then they're like, just as they're about to go for their finisher, he'll roll out of the ring, grab his belt, and just walk away and like walk back to the locker room, take the fucking count out, and keep his belt, right? Like, it was a smart move on Tom's part. Like, for him not to continue that fight was a smart move, because it's the equivalent of grabbing his belt and taking the count out. Like, and that's not to say that I feel Cyril Gane was definitely going to win the fight. My point is, like, why would you continue compromised against one of the better strikers in the UFC in the heavyweight division, where one punch can change the entire outcome of a fight, right? Like, why would you? Tom has everything to.
Dude, I think you might want to apologize to your dick then. What are you doing to it?
He's abusing that thing. Like, maybe cut your nails before jerking off. Like, it's hygiene, brother, hygiene. No, it's the thing for me is, like, Tom had everything to lose and nothing to gain by continuing that fight. Yeah, we all were with the 5 showers a day.
Yeah, but most of us weren't teenagers like 50 years ago, man.
Hey, bro, it doesn't matter. Teenagers through all generations took 5 baths a day or 5 showers a day, or they had the tube socks somewhere. I was never a tube sock guy, though. I'm like, I'm the 5 shower a day guy, like, but yeah, dude, Tom had everything to lose and nothing to gain by continuing that fight. Like, you continue compromised. Gane doesn't even lose a point for what was like, you can call it unintentional if you want to, but come on, man. If you watch that slow-mo replay, that was an egregious fucking foul, dude. Like, he buried fingers to the second knuckle, to literally to this knuckle right here in his eye. Like, and you want him to continue for what? Like, to please you? And not, I'm not talking to you personally, Mitch. I'm talking to anybody who says Tom pussed out. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm talking to anybody who says that Tom pussed out. Like, Tom did not puss out. Tom did the smart thing that a smart champion would do. Now, guess what? Tom gets to heal up. He gets to, and he has that little bit of fight film from their fight. He knows how Cyril is going to approach him, and now he gets to go back into the lab and like, okay, like Cyril was getting the better of it in the very little fight that we got, right? I can admit that Cyril was getting striking, so it's a win-win for Tom. Like, did he lose some fans? I don't think so.
I wouldn't be surprised if some people, especially the casuals, hopped off the bandwagon at that.
Oh yeah, but see, that's the thing, is they weren't real fans. Like, they weren't real Tom fans, right? They're hype fans. They're hype trained fans. Like, so to me, that's not a loss, because they were never really on your bandwagon to begin with. All it takes is for you to lose one fight, and all of a sudden you're a bum, right? Like, Tom's actual fans, people who actually watch Tom fight, respect him as a fighter, and see his talent, they understand completely. They're like, bro, I wouldn't continue to fight either. Like, the ref gave him an out and he took it. And I don't think there's stigma or shame attached to it. In fact, I think there should be some shame attached to poking a guy in the fucking eyes so egregiously that he can't continue to fight.
Wait, you mean you're not supposed to poke the guy, and then once you realize you're there, push in more?
No, dude, like, that's what made that foul so egregious. Like, anybody who says that Tom was faking didn't watch that slow-mo replay, dude. When you watch that replay, you see the fingers go into the eyes, and you're like, ooh, that sucks, right? And then all of a sudden there's like a pause half a second, and then the dig, like I can say, okay, maybe Cyril unintentionally poked him, right? But that dig was absolutely fucking intentional, dude. There is no way, like, because why the pause? Why the pause, right? Like, oh, my fingers are in his eyes. Like, he tried to push his eyeballs into the back of his skull, dude.
And Mitch, I can absolutely get down with that. As somebody that likes to fuck with others too, you're in great company.
Yeah, and I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm a giant Tom Aspinall fan. I think he's a very talented fighter. I think he has a chance, especially with how lackluster the UFC heavyweight division is right now. I think he has a chance to break Stipe's defense record pretty easily. So yeah, I think Tom has a chance to go down as the greatest heavyweight, quote unquote, of all time. There'll be an asterisk next to it, because it's like, he's fighting in a heavyweight division, no clear stars. He's the Green Bay Packers, right? Like, he's the best of a bad division, right? Like, he's gonna, and I don't mean that as a dig on the Packers. You play who you play. You know what I mean? Like the Packers have been a good team, right? But their division, in the large part, their division has been shit for the last 30 years. Like, every year, it's like one team out of that division will get a bit of a run, But yeah, it's at the end of it, they always clinch the division. And so, yeah, I just look at Tom as, like, he's clearly the best heavyweight in a very lackluster heavyweight division.
I was going to say, he's only got 3 losses. It's not like the old school boxing where, you get 1 to 2 losses, something like that it's going to massively tank.
No, that's the new school boxing. Old school boxing, those guys could have 8 losses and still be an all-time great. Manny Pacquiao has like 10 losses, dude. You know what I mean? It's new boxing. You're not wrong, Ken, but it's just you conflated the old with the new. In the old days, guys dared to be great. In the 80s, the 4 Kings, like, you had Duran, Hearns, and Leonard and Hagler, and they all fought, right? Win or lose. Nowadays, 1 loss and a guy is, like, that's what's wrong with boxing.
I wasn't alive in the 80s. I was alive during that 1 loss type of shit.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Unfortunately for you, you grew up in the worst era of boxing, because people don't dare to be great anymore because one loss affects your marketability so bad that it's like you could be 35-0, have world championships in 3 different weight classes. You lose one, all of a sudden you're a bum and you're washed and nobody wants to watch you. It's like they only like undefeated fighters. Why I love UFC so much and MMA in general is because you fight long enough, you're gonna take a L. Nobody is perfect. Even John Jones, and I'm not going to get into the John Jones argument too much, but I'll just say this: John Jones is not undefeated, and I'm not talking about the Matt Hamill fight where he was disqualified. John Jones has lost fights; he just didn't lose them on the scorecards. Like he lost clearly to Donis. There's an argument that he lost to Thiago Silva. There's a very good argument to be made that he lost the first Gustafsson fight. Yeah, maybe there will be at some point a guy like that. But the thing, I don't know if you're ever going to get a guy that's that dominant in the heavyweight division, because in the heavyweight division, you're fighting, everybody's 260 pounds. It's like one shot. It doesn't matter who you are. The number 15 ranked guy could be fighting the number 1 contender or the world champ, and one punch can completely change the fight because of the weight that you're dealing with. You're dealing with 260 pounds plus his own exertion. Like, you put that on a chin, it don't matter who you are, dude. You're going down. So that's why that's the only reason I say that is like, for somebody to be that dominant in the heavyweight division, they would have to be a tremendous wrestler. I don't see a striker doing it. It would have to be a wrestler who's able to keep somebody down. Patty versus Topuria. Yeah, Armin is most likely next. And I mean, it's up in the air. Some people say rightfully so. I say he blew his shot. He had a chance and he chose to eat fucking pasta before the weigh-in. Like, that's his problem, dude. I would love to see Patty and Topuria. I think,
so wouldn't I?
I know that Topuria is going to be the heavy favorite in that fight, but I told Ken this when the fight, it was supposed to be, right? Like, he even announced it. And for some reason, I guess, it wasn't officially signed or whatever, but I actually think he's a live dog in that fight. And it's not.
Oh, we got a bit of a frozen Joe, but yeah, he might be a live dog, but I really want to see what the supposed man from the tribe of the Irish that can't get knocked out does against the man with dynamite for hands, because we have seen Ilya's insane power and accuracy. I want to see if he is able to drop Patty with that, or if it's going to be like how we've seen a lot of Patty fights go. He gets himself rocked, and then he just ends up on the guy's back and choking him the fuck out.
And, I think that's a very real possibility. But if I'm Patty, I'm not letting it get to that point. He's not going to rock me, because I told you already my strategy. I'm doing exactly what Valentina Shevchenko did to Zhang Weili in the stand-up game. I'm keeping her on the end of my kicks. I'm hitting and moving. Like, I'm not exchanging punches with Ilya. Like, I'm exchanging kicks for punches. He can try to punch me, but every time he gets in that range where he's like in the range of my sidekick, I'm throwing my sidekick right into his ribs. I'm throwing that front push kick to the chest. I'm throwing leg kicks, and I'm going to just break him down that way until he's forced to rush in at me, because that's the only way he's going to get to me, right? He's going to have to get reckless, and he's going to have to come in swinging, which, okay, then I go for the takedown. And once I get him down, Ilya can wrestle. That's where the fight gets interesting, is those transitions, right?
And don't forget, Ilya is also a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu too.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Patty is a black belt too, and Patty is a high level black belt. Like, Patty, not all black belts are the same.
Yeah, I get that, but what I'm kind of saying is, yes, Patty, from what we've seen so far between him and Ilya, seems like he is the better jujitsu artist, but you can't forget that Ilya has the black belt too, so it's not like he's 100% outmatched. He's got at least a shot in that. Granted, Patty being high level is going to create a hell of a problem, but I I
See,
don't
but it's
100%
not.
rule it.
No, okay. I'm. You're not wrong, Ken. And I'm not trying to say that Topuria is just going to get blown away, right? Like he has no skills. What I'm saying is, even in jujitsu, if you have two black belts, attributes matter, right?
Mhm.
Now, I don't know how much time you've spent rolling. I've spent a little bit, and let me
Just
tell you,
yeah, tiny bit.
those guys that have long legs and long arms, they're a bitch to try to grapple with on the ground. Why? Because they can use those legs to keep you at a distance. It makes it very difficult to pass their guard. It makes it they can shoot triangles from a mile away. You know what I mean? Like they have those long ass legs. Topuria is a short guy. He has short arms. He has short legs. He's a very compact guy. So even if they weigh the same, Patty has attributes. That
Mhm.
length in the jiu-jitsu game is going to matter, is what I'm saying. Like he's going to be able, if he ends up in the guard, he's going to be able to post his feet up on Topuria's hips and use those to push him to gain distance and then try to shoot triangles, shoot arm bars. Yeah, and again, you're right, Kayla. Patty is an unusual fighter. Those unusual guys cause problems. Um, so it's not like I'm saying that Topuria's jiu-jitsu sucks. I'm just saying that when you have two black belts that, let's say they're the same rank and they've been both trained by exceptional black belts themselves, right? Attributes matter. That's what it actually comes down to. Who's the stronger guy? Who's the longer guy? Right? Who's the more experienced guy? Like all those things play a factor when skills are equal, right? In tournaments, your height is the one thing that they can't really judge, but your weight, your age, like in you fight guys that are in your weight class, in your age bracket, in your skill level, so they try to make it as even as possible, right? So when all things are equal, there's one thing that they can't really regulate, and that's height. And Patty is much taller and much longer. So I think that gives him the advantage in the jiu-jitsu game, is all I'm saying. There's a good chance that it's not even going to the ground, that Topuria could just knock him smooth out. I mean, that's probably Topuria's game plan, is like, I'm not even going to the ground. I'm just going to hit this dude on his chin and it's over. And that'll be interesting to see too, because I'm not under any delusion that Topuria is not going to hit Patty at all. Like, you're not going to
Mhm.
go, you're not, he's going to get touched at some point. You know what I mean? It's just, can Patty avoid getting hit directly on the chin, right? Can he move with the shots, roll with the shots, and not take them flush? That'll be a huge thing. Can he keep the
I think
distance?
yeah, I think that one's going to be the bitch just because of Topura's insane level of accuracy. That yeah, you're going to be able to roll a bit and take some of it off, but how much are you actually going to be able to take off when it's right on top of you?
And not just that, but Topuria's got power to spare. So even if you roll, it's like that shit's still gonna hurt, dude. Even if it just grazes you, it's like, ooh, like I felt that. You know what I mean? Like Topuria's got crazy hammers, dude. But I'm all for that fight. I don't think it's gonna happen though. I think Armin is gonna get the next shot. I don't really agree. He's the number one contender. It's only fair. He won a fight. Um, but I'm not looking forward to that fight. I hope Topuria knocks him smooth out. And besides that, Topuria just vowed that he's going up to 170. He's chasing Islam. He wants that
Yep.
Islam fight bad.
Oh
And
yeah,
so, so
I just saw about it.
if you're Islam, bro, you've got this boogeyman that like it's like before it was just about belts, it was just about business. But now he's literally saying, no, I want to fight this dude. Like I'm going up. If Islam's going to stay at 70, I'm going up to 70 and I'm going to fight Islam. Like that means somewhere in Ilya's gym, there's a picture of Islam up there, and he's just sitting there like punching that bag, just like working, working, working. He's hungry. He's hungry for Islam, dude. Like if I'm Islam, I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, there's nothing I
yeah,
could do to shake this dude.
dude. Because from what I saw today, is that Taporia wants to meet him at a catch weight so they can have a fight for the pound for pound title. Because with Islam's win there, that had him leapfrog Taporia. And I bet you that just stewed in Taporia's mind that this son of a bitch that ran from me is now ranked higher than me.
Yeah, that can't sit right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, God, that would be such a fantastic fight, dude.
Oh yeah, that's why I'm hoping
We'll
and praying we
just
get
a
that on the
second.
white. Yeah, I hope we get that on the White House card. I mean, I know it's probably not going to happen then, but I'm begging and
No,
praying.
I mean, it would be fantastic if it did, but I feel like Armin is going to get the next shot, and it's like going to be around that White House card time. I don't know if it gets on the White House card, but like it's going to be around that time. I think if there is going to be an Islam Topuria fight, it's probably going to be at the end of next year. Making time for both, for Topuria to make his defense, unless Topuria just gives up the belt now, which he could do. Like he could give up the belt now and go up to 70. I think if you want to fight Islam, that's what you need to do, because Islam's talking about he's going to, defend the belt at 70 and then he's going to retire. Like not one defense. He's saying he's going to defend the belt as many times as he can. But I think that's all talk. I think he's nearing the end of his career. So if you're Topuria and you want that fight, I think you should go get it now. Like go move up and go fight. You might have to fight a welterweight first. You might have to fight a contender first. So you go starch that contender and then you get Islam. It clears up the lightweight division. There'll be a new champion. It'll be a vacant belt, so they'll get two of the top 5 contenders to fight for it, and then that division moves. Merab is about to have his 4th title defense this year. That's insane. But I mean, Merab is the class of that division, and it's not even close. Like he's got plenty more records to break. I don't see anybody beating Merab anytime soon, dude. He's just he's too good at what he does. Pantoja is another one. Like Joshua Van has a real chance because of his striking, but Pantoja is so well-rounded. And I think Pantoja kind of flies under the radar a little bit. Like Pantoja has defended the belt. Can you check that real quick? How many title defenses does Pantoja have already? He's got to have probably 3 or 4, at least 4 defenses by now, and dominant defenses. Pantoja is on a freaking streak, dude. He's on a roll.
Yeah, he's got 4.
To a Van, that would make 5 if he's able to win that one. And remember, we talked about this fight with Joshua. Van is a versatile striker. Like he's a phenomenal striker. I've yet to see how he does on the ground, but he's so young, man. He's only I think he's 20, 25 maybe. Like he's still, and he's already getting a title shot. Like he's got a whole career ahead of him still. So he can lose this fight and it's not going to be his only shot,
Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's real hard to argue with kind of the meteoric rise that he's had because it's not like, the UFC kind of shoehorning him in and pushing him. It's he's taking a lot of fights last minute too and dominate in these
And
and having quick,
dominating. I'm not
and having
taking
quick,
anything away from
and
him.
having quick turnarounds. I I'm biased here, definitely towards it because I really like Joshua Van. So I think he's got a hell of a chance in this one. But man, Pantoja is a motherfucker too.
Bro, Pantoja can strike, he can wrestle, he can grapple. Yeah, see, that's why I totally agree, Kayla. I don't know who you are, Kayla, but you watch the sport. I can tell. Van has great striking. He's very versatile. He's very fast. He's very technical. He has good technical striking. He puts really good combinations together. And I agree with you, Ken. He didn't get fast tracked to the title because the UFC wants to try to put a belt on him. He took on tough contenders along the way, like tough guys and short notice fights, and come in and just waxed them. Right? Like his last fight. Can you pull up his last fight? I forget if it was against Manel Kopp or it was against another very, very solid striker. And he just put the work on him, dude.
Brandon Royval.
Brandon Royval, yeah. Yeah, he put the work on Royval. So, I mean, and Royval has a victory over Brandon Moreno. So, and Brandon Moreno is a 2-time champ. Like, Brandon Moreno is my favorite fighter in the division. I just love the assassin baby. But Joshua Van is I agree with you. I'm a fan. I think the sky's the limit for that kid, and it's still so early in his career. He's going to be a champion at some point. It's he might have to wait for Pantoja's run to end, but he's going to be a champion at some point. I want to see how he does on the ground, though, because I agree with Kayla. If he doesn't have any takedown defense, Pantoja is going to strangle him. Pantoja is just too good in the transitions, changing levels, taking him down, and in those transitions on the ground, he always seems to end up in the dominant position. It's very, very rare in those grappling exchanges that somebody gets the better of him and gets into a dominant position. So we'll see. That's going to be a great fight. But going back to Islam and Topuria, or just Islam in general, like Islam's got an interesting slate ahead of him because Ian Gary, is up there for the title shot. I think if Topuria was to give up his belt right now and go up to 70, do you think they give Topuria the shot over Gary?
I could see the UFC trying to shoehorn it in because, like you were saying with Islam there, that, he said he wants to defend the belt till he can't no more. But who says that's not 1-2 defenses and then, okay, I'm done?
He's already got the 2 belts. And, he's a 2-division champ. His legacy has pretty much been cemented. This is all gravy on top of the biscuit, right? But I do believe that if Topuria was to give up his belt right now and go up to 70, they would make that fight happen immediately because it's too big of a money fight not to. Like Machado Gary, he's got a fan base, but it's nowhere near Topuria's fan base. Mm-hmm. And Islam has a huge fan base, right? That fight is going to do big numbers, dude.
I was going to say, and imagine if you can get it on the White House card.
You know why it's going to do big numbers? Is because it's not just hardcore MMA fans. Casuals know who Topuria is. Casuals know who Islam is, So the casuals are going to buy that fight too. It's that fight would do huge numbers, I believe. And I do think the White House card would be the perfect place for it. That would be because that fight, as great as that fight would be, it's for the welterweight belt, right? Think about what's at stake there, right? So Topuria is already a former featherweight champ. already a former lightweight champ. He's looking to be the first guy ever to win a belt in 3 weight classes, right? Islam, on the other hand, has the chance to end Topuria's hype train completely. Like, he has the chance to imagine the shine that Islam gets if he beats Topuria.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say
Like,
that's a hell of a scalp to put on
does
the wall.
Islam get into the GOAT conversation at that point?
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
not just greater than Khabib, but like the GOAT conversation.
I think that you'd have to give it serious consideration.
I agree. I think because I'll tell you
that's
something.
too big.
Islam lost one fight, right? Islam lost his first UFC fight, but he's on like a 22 fight win streak, and nobody's even come close. That's the thing. Is like John Jones, as great as John Jones's run was, even in his prime, he had that fight with Gustafsson that was really, really fucking close. Like, even if you gave it to Jones, it was a 48-47. That was a close fight, dude. Right? And then there's been some questionable decisions in John Jones's career. Can you name a questionable decision in Islam's career? A fight that he was given to him that you didn't feel he won? No. And why is that? Because Islam finishes most of them, dude. He finished Volkanovski. He won the decision against Volkanovski. The only one I don't even think there really is a good argument for it. But you could argue that first fight with Volkanovski in Australia, Volkanovski made him look human, right? Like, it was a very close fight, but I felt Islam did enough, and so did the judges, right? But it wasn't a robbery in any way, shape, or form, right? And Islam has finished almost everybody else. So it's like, I don't know, man. Yeah. See, that's all it took is Mitch. If Mitch would have been a little younger, he'd be whooping Islam's ass, right?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Hey, obviously Mitch stopped by the dispensary before he came on the show, like smoking that good shit. He must have been doing dabs, big dabs. Like, no, but yeah, dude. Islam, to me, if he beats Topuria, he's in the GOAT conversation. Meanwhile, if Topuria beats Islam, he's got to be put in the GOAT conversation as well. 3-division champion, knocking everybody out. Yeah, Dustin did. She's talking about my boy.
How are we gonna say? Holy shit, Joe! Calm down,
baby.
Oh yeah, there we go. I tried to stop him, guys, but here we go. We're gonna hear the glazing.
Oh, is it really glazing though? Is it really glazing? Do you not consider Dustin Poirier one of the greater lightweights in UFC history?
I was a fan of him. I'm just not a big a fan of him as you. That's why I like to give you shit over it.
Yeah, no, and that's all good. That's all love. But I'm just like, being real. Do you feel like Dustin is overrated?
No. I don't think he's overrated because I don't hear anybody going out there and saying, he's the absolute best of the best. He's one of the better ones. Absolutely.
Yeah. And he fought everybody, and he fought him tough. Like, I really like Dustin because he did it the right way. You know what I mean? He was always a gentleman outside of the octagon, inside of the octagon. He never cheated, never took no supplements and tested dirty. He always came to fight, and he was a skilled fighter. He just, for whatever reason, the stars were against him. Every time he got a title shot, it just so happened to be one of the most elite grapplers in the fucking world, dude. And Dustin's a black belt, but he's just not. He's not that level of black belt like Islam or like Khabib. Like, he just wasn't able to beat those guys.
And BJ Penn did go on one hell of a run and was a damn good fighter.
Yeah, absolutely. Prime BJ was an absolute monster, but he just never had the discipline to, BJ didn't want to train. Like he didn't want to train. He didn't want to come in shape. And after a while, like once BJ got a couple knockouts, he started headhunting, dude. And he stopped using what brought him to the dance, which was his elite jiu-jitsu skills. Like, but if you were to put a young BJ Penn in the lightweight or the welterweight division today, he would still be a champion.
Mm-hmm.
Prime BJ, that's one guy that if we could turn back the clock and put BJ, a young BJ, in those divisions now, I have no doubt he could be a champ. You can't say that about everyone. Like there's guys like Matt Hughes, for example. As great as Matt Hughes was, I think Matt Hughes would get killed in the modern welterweight division.
I could see that because he was a very specialist type of fighter of pretty much the damn near just the wrestling and ground and pound.
That's it. And everybody can do that now, right? Everybody can do that now. Yeah, I agree. When he moved up to welterweight, but BJ Penn won 2 belts. He was the first one to do it. Yeah, BJ Penn. It's very sad what happened to him. Like I think it's CTE mixed with there's some rumors that he's got some substance abuse issues. It's very unfortunate, but I hope that he gets it together, man. Because I really liked BJ Penn. His rubber guard was freaking ridiculous, dude. I used to love watching his rubber guard.
Speaking of that, I checked out Craig Jones.
What
That
did you think, dude?
fucking buggy choke is insane.
I'm telling you,
I have
bro,
never seen so many people pass the fuck out.
Bro, that buggy choke, I'm like working on it because I want to add it to my game because when I go up against a guy like the D1 wrestler from Missouri, I end up in bottom side control a lot. So I'm like trying to work on that because I'm like one of these days I'm gonna hit him with it and I'm gonna tap him with it. And then after that, he'll be like on the lookout for it. But it's gonna get me one tap.
Once.
I'm gonna get him once with that shit. That buggy choke is a sneaky fucking maneuver, dude.
That is, unless he's watching the show right now.
Oh, I don't think he is. I don't even know if he knows that I do a podcast, and I'm definitely not going to tell him now. Yeah, Matt Hughes. Yeah, I'll let you go ahead, Ken. Matt Hughes.
Yeah, that's why I had said that he was pretty much just a wrestler and a ground and pound guy, because he at least attempted the stand up, and he did get a little bit better, but it wasn't anything fucking world class by any means.
He was never considered a good striker. Like, unfortunately for him, he just wasn't. Like, Matt Hughes was a very dominant wrestler. And in that era of UFC, you had mostly specialists, right? You were either a wrestler or you were a submission guy or you were a striker. You could do the other things, but they weren't your bread and butter, right? Everybody had their bread and butter. And that's why GSP was kind of such an anomaly. To me, GSP was like he was the first fighter that was actually all around, like well-rounded. He could do jiu-jitsu. His striking was phenomenal. His wrestling is second to none. GSP was like sort of the changing of the guard, in my opinion. But eventually, even GSP, like, he was the first, the innovator, right? But eventually guys catch up to you. Now everybody all of a sudden is able to do what you're able to do. And so, but GSP was smart enough to get out on top.
And Mitch's question, I'm going to let Joe handle, because I've only seen Bryce Mitchell fight, I think, one time, and that's not enough for me to form an opinion on him.
Well, you might have seen more than one. You remember we were just talking about it a couple weeks ago. John Silva did that standing darce on him and choked him out, and he like.
Oh yeah. Okay. Now I remember him a little more.
I think Bryce Mitchell is, he's a good fighter, not a great fighter. I don't see him ever reaching like championship level, if I'm being honest. There's just too many other good guys in the division. But he's there's nothing wrong with being a contender. You know what I mean? Like it's like Dustin Poirier. Just because you never won a belt doesn't mean you're a shitty fighter. It just means that you were never the greatest fighter in the world in your weight class at one point. But to be top 5 is still, bro, you're top 5 in the world at your weight class. Like, that is a very impressive accomplishment. Do you know how many fighters are on the UFC roster that are not ranked in the top 5? Everybody that's not in the top 5, like hundreds of thousands of fighters, maybe a couple thousand, like 1,500 fighters, right? You figure the UFC is the creme de la creme, right? They're the best fighters in the world, and you have, let's say, 1,500 of them, right? So out of the 1,500 best in the world, there's 10 divisions and a top 5 in each. So 50 out of those 1,500 are the best, the creme de la creme, the top of the top, right? It's like the NFL, man. Like, how many to be good enough to go to college on a D1 football scholarship is very, very difficult, right? Only a very small percentage of high school players go play D1. And then out of all those players that play D1, 0.1% go to the NFL. And then out of that 0.1%, how many actually have a long career, like, or a Hall of Fame career? It's so rare. Like, even though it doesn't seem rare because we induct people into the Hall of Fame every year, but I'm trying to point out, like, being a top 5 contender in any division is a hell of an accomplishment, man. So like I said, Bryce Mitchell, he's not championship level to me, but he's a contender, Hey, that's cool, man. Like, that's awesome. Bryce, I don't have nothing against the dude. Like I said, I just don't think he's a championship level fighter. And you're right, Matt Hughes did beat GSP once, but then GSP came back and flattened him twice. So I don't doubt you. Like, if you were able to hang with Bryce, there's people that, are able to hang with fighters, maybe in your day you could have been a fighter. Like, there's tough people everywhere, man. You know what I mean? Like, in my day, I was a decent wrestler in high school, but I didn't wrestle long enough to be able to, like, try to go to college on it or anything. But I was decent, but I got smashed by a dude. My only loss was to a guy, Kyle Devan. He ended up playing offensive line for the Eagles and the Colts. Went to Oregon State, was a state wrestling champion, the heavyweight champion at 275 in California, no less. So, and he worked me, and I was a pretty good wrestler. That dude, he basically did whatever he wanted with me, dude. So there's levels to this shit,
But it is unfortunately that time.
Yeah, I mean, we still have a minute, but
remember we started a hair bit late.
Oh, you're right. We want to thank you guys for joining us. Come back next week. And yeah, we'll see you guys. Hey, thanks. Shout out for the comments, especially you, Kayla. Hey, come back next week. Maybe we'll have you on the show. We'd like to hear some more from you.
And Mitch, it's nice to have you in the comments on here where we can agree about something instead of in the football shows where we don't agree.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, yo, it's game time, ain't no messing around. Huddle Sports Network, the best in